We're finally live. Let's make sure everything's patterned and make sure the green screen looks a tiny bit less terrible than it normally does, people. One day everything will be patterned, but until then we're just gonna have to hold it up. First things first, people deluded, I'm back again. First things first, once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. One love to the Twitch gang, love to the YouTube community. Again, this won't be a regular thing. I thought, you know what, man, let me show the YouTube community what you're missing out on. Typically we go live at 10 a.m. on Twitch. Big up the Twitch gang. Make sure you're following on Twitch. If you don't know that I do, you know, if you're on Twitch and you don't know that I do YouTube, then naturally. Now, again, people, you know, I apologize for being a few minutes late. In my defense, it's for you guys. You know, I had a video uploading. For some reason, it's taking longer than usual. It said 3 minutes. So rather than go online, it's lagging and that, I thought, let me wait. So yeah, I did that. So I apologize for that. First things first, no matter if you're frustrated about your team, Arsenal, or other things, you know, health is life, innit? You ain't got health, you're dead in it. So as usual, wishing you lot listening and your loved ones health and them things there in all aspects. With it being Tuesday, you know, second day of the week, or third if you start with Sundays, let's move that much closer to our goals, hopes, ambitions, aspirations, ambitions, and all of that good stuff, people. Again, make sure you're doing that, man, even if it's just a small percentage this week. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Make sure as well, we're still going live at 11:30. That's going to purely be on YouTube. My next streams after this is 11:30 on YouTube, where more on Arsenal centric. We're going to say a bag of things about Arsenal right now, but I kind of want to leave some things until then. I kind of want to offer my opinions a bit more in depth in relation to that. Lacazette's been linked with Lyon again, and just overall deal with the aftermath. Now, obviously, we're going to speak Arsenal and speak about other teams. You know, it is what it is. A window that started with hella optimism from Arsenal fans. You know, the highlight was probably Aubameyang's wages being saved, and the fact that, you know, we had Daily Dusan on YouTube, but we've let one striker go. We haven't brought one in. I don't think there's a situation where you can be intact. You can bury your head in the sand and be extremely negative or extremely positive about Arsenal's situation. I would say there's probably no winners realistically with when it comes to Aubameyang, Arsenal, and Barcelona. I don't know. Obviously, Aubameyang's got family in Spain. Obviously, to say you've played for Barcelona, I know he had a wish to play for Barcelona Madrid. To say you've played in Spain, to say you've played for a prestigious club, they're in Europe. It's right, isn't it? But let's be honest, I'm sure Aubameyang didn't want to leave like this. He's left like some coward, you know, really just shy of 100 goals, you know, very far cry from being, you know, from when he signed his deal, where we can look at it, where he spoke about being an Arsenal legend. For Barca, if I'm completely honest, they probably didn't. Let me move this slightly closer. Probably didn't want to commit to signing him on a permanent basis and wanted a loan, so they've got a player. It looked like Morata was the first choice, and obviously for Arsenal, again, we shave wages off the wage books and things like that, and especially with a player that's not playing, and in the grand scheme of man management and things, I guess it's a brownie point for Arteta. And on the face of it, Aubameyang has been unbalanced in the team and things like that, but at the same time, you've opened yourself up for that conversation if there is an injury realistically, you know. And obviously we've not won at all. I don't advocate spending recklessly and spending for no reason, because the same people that just want to spend for the sake of it would criticize the club. But at the same time, if you know, in hindsight, you know, you should have given yourself an option. I don't think there's any excuses, even if I know it's not inspiring, but even if you utilize the loan market, whether we tried to bring players in, do this, do that, commendable, but it only goes so far. Everybody tried to do things, you know. Barcelona couldn't get Morata and other guys. They've walked away with Aubameyang, who's got a proven pedigree. You know, as much as we laugh at Spurs, and we're going to review all Premier League action and them things there in relation to the market, they got rejected by players left, right, and centre. They still made something. They come out the window with something. Newcastle, again, they were getting rejected by players left, right, and centre. They've walked away with improving the spine of their team. Whether they stay up or not is a different story. They've brought in Chris Wood, got Target on loan, you know, brought Dan Burn in, big signing in Bruno Guimaraes. I've said in hindsight, not that I'm cutting excuses, I don't think there was ever finances available. I know the Vlahovic one is a separate entity, but, you know, we agreed on our Melo loan. We put no offer on the table for Bruno Guimaraes. You know, we've not utilized anything else. I don't know if there was ever any, especially because of the outlay on in the summer, 150 million. And then obviously Arteta had to go to America allegedly to beg for finances. I don't know if there was ever money, in which there's still no excuses, money or not. You gotta react, you know. You know, again, we're gonna at 11:30. We're gonna look at Edu's interview and stuff because we were told they're planning for the future. They're planning ahead. Do I think again we'll focus on it a bit at 11:30? But I don't think. Do I think Arteta wanted to come into the end of the window with no midfielder and no striker and let people go? Of course not. But at the end of the day, you're in charge of the technical front. You know, Aubameyang has left fundamentally because you sanctioned it, rightly or wrongly. So that's you, Edu. Again, I'll focus at this at 11:30. Whether there was money for top targets, plan B targets, plan C, you got to make things happen. This is your performance. Same way we ask the players to stand up to be counted on the match day. This is Edu's thing now. Sometimes it comes down to who's in your phone book, and I've just seen weak negotiation skills on the face of it. Yeah, man, you've got Kolasinac off the wage bill. You've got Aubameyang gone. You've probably got some loan fees for Pablo Mari and Maitland-Niles, and that helps us going into the face of things. But it's not good enough, really and truly. Now, is it really? And for two of the names I said, I'm not really going to praise you for sorting out the temporary future of Pablo Mari, who still has to come back next year, or getting rid of Aubameyang because you know, fair enough, everyone makes mistakes, but you lot asked for it. You lot gave him a new deal. You lot brought in Pablo Mari. So I'm not going to. I just feel there's no balance. There's burying your heads in the sand, being ridiculously positive, burying your heads in the sand, being negative, where it's a middle ground where multiple truths can live in one realm. Aubameyang needed to keep it moving, but you can't sit here and say you're not somewhat fearful of the fact that forget Aubameyang, there's not another striker. In the same way, if we was to bin Xhaka in the summer, you could say in January, you could say what you want about him. But you would need stuff. You would need a midfielder to come in, and you might not want to sell him. January is a techie time to do business, and really, on the face of it, we've come into it with weak depth and left it even weaker. And there's still a lot of question marks. Eddie and Nketiah and Lacazette, you've got a platform either to earn new deals or move on. El Nene's not really a thing, but you've still got El Nene there. Again, Pepe was linked with a move away. Where's his headlight? Where's Arteta looking at him? He's going to have to reintegrate these sort of players and bring them back in. Obviously, it's disappointing. It started off very optimistic. Telemans, Bruno Guimaraes, all these things. When I see fans getting onto the club for not activating the release clause of Isaac or buying Renato Sanchez, I understand it. They're two players that could add something. But Isaac's a project player. Now, the 77 million, we've spent a lot worse, but I want you to buy players because you want it, not just because you want to save face and things like that. In Renato's case, if you're not 100% convinced, then it is what it is. Again, I don't doubt that Arsenal, as I keep saying, on a pitch, I think Arsenal can work all week, go into a game with a plan, and then when something else is thrown up, it's another question. I think we went into this market with a plan of vaguely who we'd want to sell, who we'd want to bring in. Obviously, things change in that regards, but at the same time, you've got to be adaptable to change, even in the league perspective. We're not expected to be challenging for 1 second, people. I think someone's off the door. I love getting Amazon packages that are not for me, people. But yeah, as I was saying, there's no excuses. We are significantly weaker. We're kind of at the two strikers who aren't prolific's mercy. And yeah, things change. We didn't expect to be in a top 4 race, but you found yourself in at least a decent chance of a fight. And you got to look at your rivals. What have you got the edge over them? Don't have a thing really. They ain't really boosted the squad. Top 6 is the minimum. But people, in my opinion, talk like the league's done. Like we're just we're gonna finish top 6. It's assurance. You can't say you're gonna finish unless you're City or Liverpool. You can't say you're gonna finish in the top 4, top 6. You can't 100% say that. So there's 17 games left. There's 18 or so players, excluding the young players. You're gonna have to get on with it. It is what it is, really. We did bring in players technically, some American dons. Shout out to Matt Turner, who's joining on in the summer, and you've got my man, the centre back, who's gonna come and be a loanee and things like that. We've not helped ourselves, man, but it is what it is. And you've with every good game, it's gonna be the decision's been made. With every bad game, you've shot yourselves in the foot. There will be games where it looks like we don't need Aubameyang, and there'll be games where equally, we need someone else. The green screen's bugging out, my guy, man. It is what it is, man. We're here for the talking, but boy, it is what it is. Like, what more can you say? We're gonna specifically focus on Arsenal a lot more at 11:30. So make sure you've set your reminders for that. But It is what it is, man. You know, we've saved the balance sheet, but you're kidding yourselves. I know a lot of fans are overcompensating with the fact that we've saved finances. Hopefully that translates to long term a better financial state and long term better signings. But you know, every time we free ourselves, you know, as much as I like the fact that Willian, Kolasinac, and Aubameyang in terms of the new contracts are gone, can we say that we're not going to be there revisiting some other big costly error in the future? Probably not. We've made our finances better, but we haven't bettered the technical side. So this is why I said you can't bury your heads in the sand. You know, people are football fans. You can waffle as much about finances as much as you want. That's not what we're meant to do as football fans at base level. That isn't, you know, that's not, you know, I don't think if we need a goal, you know, and the Aubameyang and Lacazette aren't doing it, I don't think Arteta can go, hey, save wages, come on the pitch and score a goal. I don't think things work like that. You know, there's a lot of naivety, there's a lot of negligence. There's no winners really. No one's come out of it. Yeah, Arsenal have got rid of a big player. He's not doing the business and save peas, but you're not really won the situation because it shouldn't have got to this. And again, I'm looking at them, you know, it's another costly error. As much as I just said earlier about how I don't think finances were available, it's not that I'm trying to save Kroenke, but after spending 150 million, if you're coming there and you're telling me, you know, you want peas to spend, I might think twice because you've made me sign Willian, you tore up the deal. You made me sign Aubameyang, you've torn up the deal, you know. Even the negotiating to the point where we're still paying some of Aubameyang's wages. Some is better than all, but we haven't won. And I think you've seen Edu is out of his depth, in my opinion, when it comes to technical stuff, because he struggled to really pattern negotiations. He struggled to really, what has he done apart from tear up contracts at this club? Of course, he's helped us in the summer, but he didn't identify them players. And is it any coincidence Richard Garlick has come in and we've actually negotiated better with fellow British clubs? In Ben White's case, got over the line. In what's my man's name again? Ramsdale's case, I don't know. Edu. And I just think, again, you know, the club, it's a dangerous game, you know. Of course, if we get top 4 or top 6 and we go on, the club look like they're on some bravado thing. If they don't, it's an issue. For me, I just like to be over prepared versus under prepared. All I wanted was a centre mid. Centre mid didn't come, so there's only so much, you know, expectations. I can't lie. My expectations, my optimism, the small that I had is gone, really and truly. You know, I wouldn't say top 6 is a non-negotiable. We've got to be realistic. You know, we find ourselves in a position because we turned our form around where we need to be fighting for that. And ideally, that's the dream. That's the holy grail. I look at this club as they would like to. It's a bit like everyone would like to be financially free, but how many people are making cutbacks in their life? You know, unnecessary spending that they don't need to do and living a bit frugally and things like that. A bit frugally, but and prudent and whatnot. But yeah, man, you get the point. It's brazy, really and truly. You know, of course, Ben White had a premium, but we've seen Zaha negotiations. We've seen us fail to bring in plenty of British talent. My point being, Richard Garlick has come in. I haven't seen you be adaptable again to change. You could have all the plans you want, but you haven't walked away with something. You know, things have dragged on, and ultimately, it's a results-driven business. You know, I don't think Arteta wanted to come out of that window without a striker or a midfielder, but we're told you and Edu, apologies, are in charge on the technical front. Well, nobody leaves or comes into this club without you to say so. So Arteta, I'm looking at you. The he say, she say, it's a results-driven business. This is the squad you bet on. Go and get European football. Top 4 is you need to keep pushing until May. Don't be out of that race in anything less than that. You need to get into Europa League. It goes without saying you need to finish better than 8th. But again, internally at the club, there can't really be any real expectations and targets because you can't look at this and say it's acceptable, really and truly. It's brazy, man. You know, the most exciting thing we've done is chase Vlahovic. And my man, he didn't want to come and join this thing. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're on Twitch, big up yourselves. Of course, we're at 65 likes on YouTube. You lot are violating lowest of keys. You got to put Chris Wood in that poll. Yeah, you lot can do that if you want, man. I've been airing you lot, man. I drink responsibly, Chris. I don't know what time zone you're working on, but if you're in UK, chill out with the drinking, my guy. Is it a painful day or I don't know? Silver lining, not signing anyone means we've not brought in any duds that we'd let go for nothing later. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a silver lining. That's not a silver lining to me. That's just a consolation. Like, that's not a silver lining, and that's not something I'm going to console myself with personally. I can. And what upsets me about Aubameyang, obviously I'm a fan of Aubameyang, but that last goal, whoever it was against, who would have known that would have been it? He didn't even know. Lacazette and Nketiah to finish top. Boy, it is what it is. And even them, man, you haven't sorted out their futures. You know, we're at their mercy, really and truly. And it's an unfair pressure and reliance on youth. Exactly. Especially with their volatile form. Morning, DG. I think there's a lot of hoping and wishing the club is doing. True. If we continue to go down this road, Saka, Martinelli, and etc. will be tempted to bounce in the near future. I wouldn't say we don't have anything to worry. I just feel our young players are in a unique position where they're playing every week and things. It becomes very different when they're in their mid-20s and they start to think about winning things. This is what I mean when I hear Saka. I've said it before. When Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, they're very young, they're very naive, you know, they're getting a platform to play. And they're saying Arsenal for life and all of this, it makes sense. But when you're 26 or so, or 24, and you're seeing a project going one way, you're talking on international duty with other players, you've got a different decision to make. So again, the work needs to start to summer. For me, priorities have to be Saka new deal, Martinelli new deal, sorting out Saliba, making a decision over the futures of Pepe, bringing in a centre mid and a striker, getting rid of the deadwood that's there on paper. You know, Eddie, you've got to start the negotiations for Torreira. You know, contracted until 2023, doing well at Fiorentina. See what, you know, get that permanent move done. Get Leno gone. You know, Guendouzi's already gone. So is Mavropanos. Again, Marie probably doesn't have a future here. Get that sorted out. You know, go and find him a club away from this. Improve the depth of the team. You've brought in a goalie. You know, in terms of Matt Turner's going to be second choice. Go and find a backup right back. Go and improve the spine of this team. The work needs to start now. In the same way in the summer, the work should have started to January. The minute this window was closed, or even before that, because we knew we weren't bringing no one, let the work begin. If it's Isaac or any of these guys, let the indirect talks begin. You know, you already started talking to Telemans. Go and get that confirmed. It's a results-driven business. I don't care that you tried. You know, respectfully, I admire people for trying, but it doesn't matter. If you try, you know, if you lot trying your jobs, or if I try on YouTube, but I'm shit, it doesn't mean anything really. Trying only goes so far. You don't get brownie points for trying in this thing. Starting to think that Barca low-key lied about being broke. They knew Messi had to be me. Bro, everybody manipulates the finance, man. DG, who's worse at negotiating? United or Arsenal? Is it Nitty's fighting outside the bookies? I'd say Arsenal, because United might get zanged, but at least they'll, you know, the Donnies will arrive at some point. We need a striker in the midfield in the summer after this shocking window. No matter how you look at it, Barca have the experience in their board to get something done. And that's the thing. Like, obviously, opinions are opinions, but Arsenal have walked out of this, or specifically, Eddie, you ain't got no credibility, you know. Barca, you know, Aubameyang clearly put pressure on the club to release him from his contract, and Arsenal obliged, and Barca probably did the same. It didn't bang for whatever reason with Vlahovic, whether it was from Fiorentina or whatever. You know, you weren't, to be fair, it was touch and go with Arthur Melo. You know, the board vetoed it, but then I look at it, okay, how was Spurs able to prize people from Juventus? And I'm sure not only Spurs, Rangers, big up Rangers, they got Ramsey on loan. Now, Arthur Melo's different. And we heard Juventus needed to bring in midfielders. They've got Zachariah. So what happened there? You know, Bruno Guimaraes. Again, why wasn't something done there? This is a player that's your fellow countryman, and I'm sure his agents are probably from that. That's someone that we've looked at before he joined Lyon, when we wanted him at Lyon. Why was no offer put down? You know, okay, cool. Is there a Bruno Guimaraes profile player that's also in Brazil ready for his breakout? There was many things to do. You didn't do none of them. I hope Bentancur and Kulusevski don't bang. More so Bentancur in terms of what we immediately need. Why didn't you try throw up some alternatives? You know, Spurs were getting rejected left, right, and centre. They tried to palm off Ndombele and get Paredes. It didn't bang. Then they've made something happen, whether it's successful or not. You know, I don't know if Spurs fans would say they've improved their side, because a lot of my Spurs brethren said they needed a centre half. They haven't brought that in. But, you know, they've got rid of Deadwood, Dele Alli, Lo Celso, and Ndombele. It's not working. They've brought in two players. They've given Conte something to work with. You know, United, I feel they probably should have brought in a midfielder, but anything's possible with Ronaldo. I know it's itching me, and I don't do the breaky thing, people. Yeah, West Ham have more experience than us. We've got a young, naive squad, and the players that are good are young, so their form is going to be volatile. The experienced players, I don't know if I can count it. 17 games left. The amount of consistency we require from Thomas Partey, for example, I don't know if you're going to do it. Xhaka, I don't know. El Nene, respectfully, is a sideman in the team, but I don't know if you're going to do it. Lacazette, I don't know if you're going to do it. You know, it's the experienced players, you know, again. And at one point, how much can I be vexed at Lacazette or Nketiah? Because if I know you ain't got the capabilities to do it, you know, 17 games left. The amount of consistency, the amount of assurances we need is amazing. Is a really high one, and it's amazing what we're doing. I can't really get mad at Lacazette. I know you're anything but a clinical striker. I know we overcompensate on the fact that you drop deep and have an inability to get in the box. And when you get into the box, you can't take chances. Eddie and Nketiah, I hope you go on a Joe Willock inspired purple patch, but you're anything but a lethal striker. Well, you know, at 23s, at 21s level, that's your thing. First team, you don't know what that is. You've actually got a good goal scoring record this season, but it's screwed with the cup games, really. So we're betting on a lot. We're betting on no injuries. We're betting on a level of consistency. We're somewhat betting that in games, nothing needs to go wrong. Just like with Burnley. You know, if you had a striker that could have, again, in theory, Lacazette should have scored. But that Burnley game, what if you had a striker to come off the bench and make the difference? And again, God forbid, if people get injured at this club, you're in trouble. Big trouble. So it's self-inflicted problems, really and truly. There's no real winners. You can, you know, yeah, we've saved some finances, but again, that's going to be of little consolation when we're struggling in games. And again, we spoke about it yesterday. We've got some big games where you're going to need difference makers. We've got to play Chelsea. We've got to play Spurs, you know, where Aubameyang was quite good. We've got to play United still. We've got to go to Southampton. We've got to play a bogey teams in Brighton and Palace and Leicester again. We've got to play a resurgent Villa. Sometimes you're just going to need players to make a stand. And I hope Smith Rowe and Saka, by the time the Premier League kicks on again, they're ready to do that. Remember, it was like they're scoring week in and week out. Martinelli the same, but and I hope it, you know, I hope Pepe can be like a new signing, you know, rejuvenated from AFCON. But we'll have to see, man. We really will have to see. Big up the Twitch gang and YouTube gang. Appreciative to you lot tuned in. So yeah, man, it is where it is. Like Slick is saying, Laka and Eddie are weak up front. Midfield really needs improving. Another red card or injury puts Arsenal in a serious problem. And this is where Arteta, you've sanctioned this. You've said everyone in the squad, if needed, whether it's going to play one game or all 17 games, they're reliable. Now we know there's different denominations, but yeah, man. Brazy one, man. See, Porto brought in players, and that's the thing as well. When you're leaving it, that's where it looked poor for me, where there's no plan. Of course, you've got to be reactive. Things can change, but when you're going around, you can't really, you know, with Aston Villa, with Douglas Luiz or Brasuma at Brighton, or you know, Telemans if you could have done it at Leicester, or Ruben Neves at Wolves, and even Isaac to a degree at Sociedad. And it gets January's difficult to do business, anyways. You know. You've got to give other teams time to bring in a replacement, which we failed to do, and that made them even less reluctant. You know, clearly, indirectly, not that we had a chance with Vlahovic. Fiorentina were playing a game of chicken, and it got to a point where they said, all right, cool, you know what, we've lost this game of poker. We need to confirm Arthur Cabal in. So you lot take Vlahovic off us, and then we keep it moving, really and truly. We've lost the game of poker, and this is where the small credibility for me that these lot earned is gone. And for me personally, the small optimism I had about this season is gone as well. Like I just accept it at face value. I hope you get top 4. I hope you get top 6. You know, I'm braced for 7th, 8th. You know, because we're doing the same things again and expected different results. Really and truly, I'm betting on the same man. You know, we bet on these inconsistency players in midfield. We bet on certain other individuals. We bet on the guys up front. So I hope it works. But when I see things like this, of course, the club's kind of crippled. I think Edu and Arteta to a degree are crippled. But this tells me there's no immediate pressure to deliver immediate results, in my humble opinion. If I'm dead honest with you, lot. But what do I know, man? It is what it is. Failing to plan is planning to fail. They wanted Oba out 8 weeks ago. Where's the plan? Trust. A man said, I think all Arsenal content providers should wear black or have a day of silence in mourning for what happened. Man, shut up, man. Hey, it's all cool for me. I don't know about you lot, but we completed a new signing. You know my thing. But I'm supporting Aubameyang all the way. You get it? I'm here, boy. You get it? Deluded Q. Is it Q? What Barca say? I've been Barca before. This excuse to go back, man. Arteta finessed himself, man. What's Bruno Guimaraes' major malfunction? I want Arsenal to tell us why he ain't good enough for us. I don't know, man. All I would say is, you know, it looked like Newcastle were left to him. Sometimes I think is there dodgy agents, is there bookie commissions, is there something from a medical point of view? But for me, I think it's all BS, and I think that's the sign of the window. Should have been a window of recalls at the very least. Sam, it makes sense, and there's sense to that. But at the same time, you know, you've probably got exit fees. Look at, you know, Chelsea tried to beg Emerson to come back. Leon said allow it. Really, and Guendouzi's different because it's more or less an obligation, so it's crazy. And it's what Raz is saying here for me as well. Aubameyang leaving and Arteta sticking to his principles and not reintegrating him shows that he is granted a certain amount of time by the club and his future isn't precedented off the season. It isn't. I feel our expectations and things have risen because of form and things, but last season it was terrible. This season, we heard there was no targets. We've got a young squad. There was a big turnaround. I think the only plan is what he's doing is that's to show somewhat a style of play, to show building blocks. And I think that's it. I think we would like to get Europe. I think it's not that deep, which is dangerous to never have goals in a season. I get the saving money thing, but that will be spent in the summer. The lack of players can only be a hindrance to our final league position. And that's true. And that's for me, as great as it is waffling about the summer. And that's great. You know, you can either, you can't take shortcuts, but you could accelerate your progress, whether that's getting Europa League and giving man more games, you know, so you can keep squad harmony better. And obviously, maybe some players are tempted by Europe. Obviously, everybody wants to play in the Champions League. Half the targets that we've been linked with, whether it's the names we've said or not, we always hear they want Champions League. So that could have helped us. Obviously, the finances, maybe, you know, not that I advocate being reckless, but you look at Arthur Melo, maybe if you were on course to get Europe or in Europe, maybe Kroenke sit there and say, you know what, let's do what we're doing and go and get them. So it kind of sets up what you're doing, really. And like you said, it sets back, it either, accelerates the progress or resets it. You always get in a mixed bag, man. That's my problem. You always get a mixed bag. You never really get the vibe, man, really. But I wouldn't say top fours are non-negotiable. Fighting for it in Europe is that. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Hey, come on, man. Jack gonna be back, DG. You heard it here first. To be fair, you're not the first one. Bro, this is the thing. Man are turning into accountants, bro. Like, I agree, I think it's burying their heads in the sand. People are turning into accountants. People are running balance sheets, really and truly. It's brazy. And it does feel like self-inflicted nonsense, man. We needed a striker and a midfielder this window. If we make Europe, we need 6 or 7 players in the summer. These men don't need players. We need results. Then, I don't want renewal talks with man. And this is it as well. On the best of, there is going to be it because I think Arteta's on. I think real emphasis on minimum. The bars on the floor. I wouldn't say there's any targets. I wouldn't say people are going to live by if they get top 6 or top 4 like at other clubs. We're being told it's not. Telemans gives me shades of Xhaka, not keen. Yeah, stray passes, etc. But I'll take it, man. But the thing is, bro, Edu said after the 150 million spent in the summer, they were going to pursue big quality signings. To be fair, again, maybe the big money signings didn't bang really, or the big money attempt. You're right. I assume, I almost assumed we're bringing people in, bro. It is what it is, man. Should have triggered Isaac's release clause. People saying it's too much. Overlook how many flops Chelsea have pumped for. It's true, but Chelsea have a different finance situation, and it's obviously failure is failure. Really, what I agree with you. I don't advocate for activating the release clause, but when I looked at it, 77 million, 20-odd-year-old, there's longevity around it and things, but I wouldn't have advocated for it. The problem for me is you're in a position with that. Clearly Isaac was a myth in January. For whatever reason, Sociedad were not going to let him go unless you pay that release clause, and we was never going to do that. Pardon me. At least it would have been someone with the long term and things like that. But yeah, man, I don't advocate it necessarily. But that's the only way to get my man. What a sheg of a window, 100%. One love to the Twitch gang. Man said the Arsenal internet detectives were working harder to secure Isaac than they do. Trust, man, we're following him in England and things now. I guess we just got to hope that just means there was talks around a summer move, really. Let's just hope. And again, they've set themselves up because they are going to bring people in the summer. But clubs, when I say big, I expect the right players. It doesn't matter because I've seen man bought for 52 million and I've seen man bought for 16 million. Somewhat the lesser one's done a job. The other one might be leading the line for Arsenal right now, but it ain't doing the business. But you set yourself up because we're expecting things now. Hope you're well, Das Ball. So is this fan base pro Arteta? Just stumbled on this channel. I'm not pro or anti Arteta. I'm pro Arsenal, man. If Arteta or anyone does good things, they get praise. If they do booky things, there's critiques. Eddie the Savior, I hope so, man. Edu said in the summer in the interview that it doesn't make sense to sign another player to be on top of Xhaka and Partey. We really thought midfielders coming. I did, but this is where, okay, cool. These are the players you're betting on. The excuses are done now. This is who you got to use. Okay, so leave the top goal scorers on the bench. Very smart. Big up to you for that. I don't know what that was, but yeah. I worry for Pepe, boy. You've got to use him. Even Pepe's was linked with a move away. Big up DG. Very short side by Arsenal. Watch when COVID licks them again. Never mind injuries and suspensions. By God's grace, we don't. Nobody suffers with an outbreak of COVID. But there's some truth to what you're saying. B is right. Barca are smelly, but we're smelling up more than them. Man said, DG, how much to wear a Newcastle shirt? One love to Newcastle, but you're moving mad, man. You're moving mad. 5 bills, 5 bills, 5 bags, 5 bags, 5 bills, 5 bills. Isaac's release clause was way too high for a player of his quality. He's a project player, you know. And again, obviously, you see mass amounts of money spent for potential dons, but yeah, man. In a span of 5 games, we've got 3 red cards. Now Arteta wants the same people to go 17 games without another one. Boy, I hear it. But at least you ain't loaned out Martial, Van der Beek, and our number 11. Oh, we've got 4 players for 3 positions. Boy, crazy. I mean, you know, it'd be lovely for Aubameyang to win something in Europe. I mean, you know, he said he wanted to be a legend like Thierry Henry. I mean, not quite the same caliber of Arsenal legend, but number 14 skipper went to the Nou Camp. Is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm gonna watch Barca. DG Aubameyang suitable with Barca's playing system. I mean, I think they're going to use Aubameyang how we were going to use him, how we should use him. I think there'll be games he starts, but I think he'll be a rotation option, someone that can give you goals, put the ball in the back of the net. I think, you know, and he gives them a bit of experience. He's got a bit of pedigree than Braithwaite, De Jong, and them man there. So yeah, it'd be decent. But boy, Aubameyang up front, Aubameyang, you know, Aubameyang, Adama. Ooh, not exactly the most Barcelona sort of players I would expect. I mean, this is where even with Nketiah, bro, now we're gonna see what Arteta's made of, because obviously I'm being harsh because I think as much as he might want to keep Eddie, you know, we was picking up results. So I didn't really care for Eddie's I need to play, Maitland-Niles, I need to play, anybody moaning. It was always for me this season, find the best 11, get 3 points. We're not a play crash. But for all that he waffles about Eddie Nketiah, minutes don't lie. He's played 50 odd minutes now. He's gonna play substantially more now. But this is where, you know, you've got to, not that you've got to prove anything to Eddie, but if I'm Eddie, I'm still running down my deal. I'm using this platform to earn a big boy contract at Arsenal, be really convinced by Arteta, or keep it moving somewhere else. Now we're going to see if your words mean anything. You know, same way for me. If you bring back Jack Wilshere, not that I'm against it, you were so quick to shut down the possibility of ever doing it. So now what? We've got 18 players, people, for 17 games. Let's hope everything works, man. Patrick Schick's decent, but it's irrelevant now. It don't matter who's a good striker in these things, man. Nah, I don't think it's a that thing, I don't think it's a that thing with Arteta, man. I don't think he's anti-IC3. I just think when you got some source, it's a madness. DG got to go on. Britain's Got Talent with that voice. Need a couple more pints, man. Why do you keep 2 strikers that are leaving? We need 3 strikers next season. Where are they coming from? I wouldn't say 3 strikers. Well, we need 1 minimum, someone that's going to come score the goals and do the business. Ideally, you get a next one for the squad and whatnot. And then probably Balogun, one of these guys have scope to grow, really. And for me, the next striker, all I care about is he's got to fit the system. Let's be real. You know, Aubameyang didn't fit the system. He scored goals, but we never played to his strength. We were really imbalanced with Aubameyang. Nothing to do with him. You know, he was scoring goals. But, you know, it's like we sign players, especially when it comes to these sort of guys, yeah. And it's like we try to work it out. Make sure the striker fits it to a T, you know. First things first, don't tell me his strengths. I need to know his weaknesses, because if he ties in with being young and that, you need to improve him. Second of all, general play, pressing. I don't want guys to come to this club that do not score goals, and I have to overcompensate on what they give to the team, and they drop deep and things that they should be doing anyways. I don't want a goal scorer who can't score goals. I mean, he can't do the general play thing. I'd rather that than anything, because I think we can make up the goals elsewhere and go for a winger, but he needs to fit the thing to a T. We don't need to talk about we wish we could fuse Lacazette and Aubameyang together and do a thing. That's dead. And H, you're right. I think everyone's agreeing with that. I'd rather have not brought the wrong players in panic and waste more money. I'm with that as well. But the problem for me is that the fact is you've brought no players in. If we know about this process and they talk about it, you've known players to bring in. They probably got a list who we want plan A, plan B, plan C. For instance, we've known we've wanted Jonathan David from his Gent days. We know we follow Bruno Guimaraes for time. There must have been other men like that. So my problem is you just didn't bring someone in January. I'm not advocating panicking just so fans can say, look, we signed someone. That's dead. That's meaty. But yeah, man, it is what it is. It's crazy. Look at B, man. Shut up, man. Go to them Liverpool chats, man. You're my guy, but get out of here, man. They're rubbish anyways, man. I'm just being sour. All that talk about Liverpool got the same amount of league titles in the last 30 years, mate. That's not talk about the champs. I'm sour, man. What's happening to our team, bro? Players was rejecting us for Newcastle. To be fair, I wouldn't say Bruno Guimaraes has rejected us. I know that sounds cool in that, but if we didn't put an offer down, like we have to get onto the club for the offer thing, but you can't reject something that's not there, innit? Bring on the rest of the season. It is what it is. Quincy, that's it as well. And that's what I was saying yesterday. It's frustrating, but well, can't go back in time. You know, it is what it is. 2 points away from 8th and 6 away from 10th. Man, better pattern up. Exactly that. DG, even Man City still does not replace Varane and Aguero until now. City proved that they don't need any striker. They're City. But we're not them. No, you need Darren. I hear you, but you know we can't. There's no excuses, my guy. There's no. I'm not saying splash the bag. There's no excuses. You know, on one hand, I admire not bringing in players, but there's thousands of footballers. They've all got to be found somewhere. You need plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D targets. You need to react. There's no. There's. I advocate not bringing in people for the sake of it, but there's no way that this club can come out of this with any more praise for that. There's no way, really. That there's no way. You know, same way you identified a young Lokonga, you got Tomiyasu for 16 million. There's things that can be done. Are we really going to think there's only a certain amount of players that can take us to the next level? But is there only 5 centre mids or 5 strikers that can do a job until the next Vlahovic comes on the scene or the next this or the next that? You know, there's no point telling me you follow Guimaraes from his days at that club. You follow Jonathan David from his Gent days. You wanted Vlahovic from he was 17 at Partizan. This is dead. The players are there. It's just getting things done. DG, you look like Pepe. I mean, if your girl's got a Pepe fetish, you know the thing, man. I'll tell her I'm Pepe's younger brother. I don't, man. I'm with all of that. Arsenal looking meaty, are meaty. DG, how many Arsene Wenger signings left in the squad? Do you think Arteta will remove / kick out soon? I don't know. Is there players left? With Chambers gone and Aubameyang, is there players left? What, Lacazette? El Nene? Leno there on the Wenger. Yeah, you were there on the Wenger. I think I don't actually know. You weren't. I don't think he was there on the Wenger. This is how many years we're flying back. Boy, does Edu have to secure summer pre-agreements for 2 strikers to make up? Bro, all I'm saying is make sure the summer is one to remember. I don't think it means that just because they done this, we're going to do a Galactico thing. Just make sure you know the areas you need to address. You know you need a striker. You know you need a midfielder. So begin the building blocks to that. And this is it. My man think Martinelli's going to score 20 league goals right now. Or the same for Saka and that. I mean, we're going to have to back them. But yeah, man. I mean, the 23s are on the bench, but we'll have to see what's going on, man. I mean, it is good in the long term. It's short-term pain for long-term gain, but that's assuming there is a long-term gain. That's why I said there can be no winners, man. Yeah, man. You lot done stuff. You know, you never walk alone in that. Raja European trophy. That's overrated, bro. Rise, you lot's puskasses, you dickheads. You lot don't do drillings in the flesh. Get out of here, Liverpool fans. And that's it, man. Shout out to all the supporters of the channel from other things. Man doing Cincinnati Bengals and that. Ah, man. What a day, mate. Yeah, Xhaka, Holding. Bro, Bear Man are still here. He's better than Cannavaro. Yeah, Leno was Emre. Yeah, that was the same summer with Socrates and that, so it couldn't have been Wenger. To be fair to you, Gary, Arsenal scouts can suggest as many players as they want, you know. That's what they don't make decisions. As someone who's scouted before, Gary, you could be the, you know, let's put it to a youth academy. You could be the head scout of an academy, right? I could be all around North London. I could find the next, you know, who's a name we could say. I could find the next Bukayo Saka. I could find the next Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli all in the same week. And I could be waxing lyrical. I can give you a detailed scouting report. I pull it at your desk, at email or WhatsApp. But if you don't rate my opinion, or you don't take me seriously, or you don't follow up on it, it's dead in the water. Now, I think that happens at a lot of clubs, really. So it is what it is, man. It's brazy, man. It's brazy. One love to the YouTube gang and the Twitch gang. So yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, Arteta and Eddie were in charge in the technical front. I don't advocate bringing players in for the sake of bringing man in, but you know, you should have brought someone in. You had a whole month, and before the building blocks needed to happen months before, really. So, yeah, it is what it is. Morning, DG. My thing is, as a club, we never do good in both windows. It's either just the summer or January. We never go again, and this has been happening for years. Never pushed to get over the line. You're right, my guy, man. You're right. You're fully right. There's not much more I can say. Should we review, you know, the transfer window of all clubs, really? You know, I've seen some interesting moves. I see Everton have signed Van der Beek. Van der Beek needs a platform. You know, Van der Beek looks like one of them. And as an Arsenal fan, respectfully, I've seen them a lot. He's a good player, but he's a soft you. He looks like he needs a hand over him. And Lampard looks like what better as a midfielder to get a midfielder over you than Lampard. So that looks like a good signing for them. Whether they can balance the squad and hit the ground running is another thing. Dele Alli, perfect move to rejuvenate his career. Obviously, playing under Lampard, a man that they've said there's many similarities. Maybe that could do a thing for him. Obviously, Bruno Guimaraes for me is probably the signing of the window, because no one saw it coming. He's a big signing. You know, he's all action. He scores quite high for passes forward, for pressing. You know, for defensive metrics, he is really good and things like that. I'd say the most surprising one, I didn't think Sevilla would get Martial on loan. In fact, would I say that's surprising? I'll say Aubameyang to Barcelona, but saying that, we've been hearing this for time. Maybe it just went from being paper talk to something that's slightly more realistic. So yeah, I'd probably say that. What other transfer rumors are there? What other ones would you say shocked you this window? Biggest failed one, without a doubt, is Vlahovic. But again, you know, when you get past the euphoria, Arsenal are the ones that made it, that because you never had a snowball's chance. The man said from October, it's a Juventus thing. You weren't getting called. You weren't getting your calls returned. On one hand, I'll be fair to Arsenal. As much as I think we're incompetent, I don't think we're going to chase someone if there's no encouragement. But that you might have been taken around the houses. It's like when Abini keeps saying, "Oh yeah, hey, we're linking up." Tell you on a Monday, Friday now, you're calling, it's getting iffy. That's, you know, we had our pants pulled down, and obviously something's got to have changed, because we were so quick to sanction Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who was a squad player leaving, but ultimately didn't bring nobody in, really. So something's got to have changed, really. But all in all, we can only deal with the results, really. And yeah, let's look at some actual transfer stuff that's happened. Let me know your opinions. What do you think's the biggest signing and whatnot? Obviously, Spurs got rid of Ndombele. He's gone back to Lyon. You know, I think how do you manage to be a bigger flop than Pepe? Luis Diaz, serious signing for Liverpool. They'll probably get Fabio Carvalho in the summer, but they've seen that move not bang. So yeah, done deals, I believe. Let's refresh the screen just in case we're missing any. Obviously, Dele Alli up to 40 million. Big up Ericsson for playing. Burnley increasing the diversity quotas. Man City sign another talented young player for the future. Bentancur, big signing for Spurs. Credit where due. Kulusevski the same, but we're going to have to call them shit. You know, Van der Beek gets a platform as discussed. Target to Newcastle. This young player was at West Ham, done well. Didn't, you know, it doesn't always bang for people going abroad. Like you've seen with Panzo, with him and whatnot. And he's back in the country at Brighton. You know, Palace confirmed a permanent signing. I would have loved Eddie to move on. Amani Richards, who basically just joined from Chelsea and signed a pro, has gone Leicester. Luke Planch, who we released, I'm not going to lie, at the time he wasn't playing, he needed to go, but you've lost out on £1 million, really. Dan Burn, decent signing for Newcastle. Nico Williams went out on loan, didn't even clock that one, people. Didn't even see that one. And I think Nat Phillips did as well. What else have you got? I hear Marcus Edwards has gone to Sporting. That's a good move for him. Nat Phillips is getting football. Right, Zach Clough. Swear down, the ex-Bolton one. Nah, you ain't felt falling off. You ain't a free agent. What going for your thing? 26. It ain't bang for you. How it was supposed to bang, you know. Raw. Raw. Anyways, that's for my personal viewing and whatnot. But raw. Or say 2-2 went out on loan. Matthew Bondswell, ain't you the guy that was at, you was at Forest and then you went abroad and again it didn't bang. Yeah, Matthew Bondswell, it didn't bang, did it? You went Leipzig, it didn't bang. No, it don't always bang abroad for everybody. What other signings have we got? The layout is horrible here, man. Akinola went on loan. Ramsey to Thingy is a big signing. Ramsey to Rangers on loan, big signing. Shout out Ramsey. At least someone got a move. Luis Diaz, big boy signing, again, 25 years of age, ties in with long-term Jota, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho when that happens and stuff. So Liverpool have players for the present. You're present for me. I know Salah can be there about 4 more years and Van Dijk the same, but I would say Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah, Mane, all of these sort of guys. And you've got to give people time to adapt, especially in January. But as a football fan, I'm excited about these signings because I think he's aggressive. He's got a lot of that South American mentality that I love. Liverpool's probably the best club to harness that. Bruno Guimaraes, expectations are very high to see what he can do. Adama Traore, dream move to Barcelona on loan. Shout out to you. Shout out to Aubameyang for making that happen as well. The only thing Arsenal have done well is probably, free wages and get some long players out. Chambers to Aston Villa. Vlahovic didn't bang. Boy, what else is there? Amad Diallo to Rangers. And I'm sure considering how certain youths are, maybe that was a hasty decision from Man United. Obviously, Hang Lee Chan completed a permanent move to Wolves. Jack Clark. I can't lie. Me and my friend always banter. My friend, he's a Spurs fan, thinks he's shit and can't understand why they bought him. You went Sunderland on a slide thing. Shout out to you. You need to pattern that career. Leeds for Nest. You still big up Tyrese John Jules, gone out on loan. Martial the same. Obviously, Chelsea completed 2. They signed the young lad from Charlton and they signed Dylan Williams from Derby. Hey, what? In fact, Coutinho, it feels like years ago Coutinho signed for them. As much as I'm saying Bruno Guimaraes, you could say Coutinho's one of the signings of the window. Feels like years ago Coutinho completed that move to Villa and scored against United. Patrick Roberts finally joined the club for free. Connor Wickham is still kicking ball. Madman. Bare guys I forgot about. Crazy. What else is there? What else have we got? Hella long knees. Luka Dean, I forgot about that. El Ghazi on loan to Everton. Chris Wood, 25 mil. That's preparing for the championship. Trippier is a good signing for Newcastle, I'd say. I don't know who would be the signing. I think Everton bewildering selling Luka Dean, for whatever reason with the bust up with Rafa Benitez. But I'd say Luka Dean, Coutinho, Guimaraes, Diaz, and I'd say they're the signings of the window. But I'm missing someone else. Where else is there? Maitland now's got his move. Forgot to Shaby went out on loan. Scrolling all the way down. I think that. And that's the end of the thing. So yeah, that's all the transfers that happened. Longstaff, Matty Longstaff. When did you go to Aberdeen? We only see you lot when you're playing United, really. Dele Alli's obviously signed for Everton, and he spoke about wanting to enjoy his football again. I just want to be happy, and that's why I'm happy for you. That's the main thing with Aubameyang. Just go. You deserve to be in a place of work where you're gonna play, whether you're self-inflicted problems or not. Dele Alli said, "I'm very excited, a bit tired from a long day, but we got there in the end. I'm delighted." I had a few conversations with him, Lampard, already. He's a player I admired throughout his whole career watching him. I'm pleased to work with him. It's very exciting. I'm sure we can do great things together. Now, I hope you end up like he will be, but, playing under Lampard, which, as a midfielder, and especially one like him where I don't think Lampard and you are similar, but there is some vague similarities. I just want to be happy playing football, working with Lampard and the great players Everton have got. big up Iwobi. It's a great opportunity for me to do that. I'm excited to go there, show the fans what I can do, and help the club as much as I can. And this could, you know, you might be able to get into the England shouts. And to be fair with Spurs, the deal rises all the way up to 40 million. It's still a handsome profit on the 5 that they spent. So yeah, man, this guy, you know, he's been on, you know, Dele Alli's been a forgotten character for time. He's made just 6 appearances since Conte's come in. He's, you know, it's time to move away from that for Spurs, if I'm honest. You know, Darwin Núñez bid was rejected. Well, West Ham Darwin Núñez bid was rejected. There was rumors Arsenal tried a thing for him, but it didn't bang. Apparently Lampard wants Ashley Cole to join him on Everton coaching stuff. Icy Freeze can't fool again. Go and do your thing. Jermaine Defoe, you know, back to Sunderland. Arsenal should have got involved in that. West Ham tried to buy Zapata on deadline day. They tried harder for a striker than we did. And ultimately, you don't get points for trying, but at least they tried it. As I said, they failed to bring him in. They even tried to do the loan thing to hurry things up. If you don't know already, Aubameyang signed for Barcelona on a free transfer. And he will have his medical. He's had his medical. It's all done. Apparently, official announcements due today. There's that. As you can see, I'm heartbroken, man. Beer, Bamian tabs. What else is that? Who would you lot say are the men in limbo as well? Because I look at who never got moves. You know, it looked like it was going to be Obama Wingy, but and as I said, Aaron Ramsey's gone to Scotland and playing for Rangers. You know, not quite, you know, under Gerrard, but yeah. You know, because you look at Lingard, he still has to stay at United for whatever reason. You know, he's not going. He's you know, Barkley's a forgotten man. To my knowledge, you ain't got to move. There's hella forgotten men. You know, Lingard never got a move. So, you know, you're just going to have to get on with it. As you know, Spurs got Lascelles, Brian Gill, and then Ndombele out on loan. So, yeah, man. Boy, finessed. So, yeah, that's a crazy one, really, really and truly. Bit of an underwhelming market. Well, for us anyways. Don't forget we go live at 11:30 as well, folks. You know, where I more want to scrutinize Arsenal's. Edu and Arteta are like this in the headlight in the transfer market, potentially. We were clout chasing for Vlahovic, dreaming. Ultimately going for players that we can't. When it's all said and done, Oba had down tools from last season, so needed to replace him, though. This last sentence, he needed to go, but you needed to replace. Simple boycott all the rest of the games. You know, Ericsson, it's nice to see that he's playing ball, man. Deep it, DG. Arsenal spent 100 million plus in the summer. I don't get how fans think they were going to go big in Jan. Arsenal haven't sold a player for more than 50 million ever. I just wanted us to spend rightly, man. Newcastle doing business. Listen, you got to utilize whatever's available to you, man. Arteta might try that false 9 formation again, maybe. Man, the other week, DG to Juventus was a big signing to Arsenal fans, apparently. Hey, man. Fake/exaggerated articles are a huge issue. Surely the club was not sold on Bruno Gomes if they scouted him for how long? How many people shouting incompetence have seen him play 10 plus games? I think people have seen him play and he's done well. The problem is other targets. I don't think the club can be blamed for what articles are coming out, and I don't think fans can be blamed for being optimistic. Of course, fans have a duty to, you know, not get excited. And I mean, the thing that scares me when you look at Bruno Guimaraes, Szoboszlai, etc., you always see articles come out that Arsenal had concerns. You never got concerns when we're bringing in certain joke men, and that's cool. You know, it doesn't have to just be Bruno Guimaraes. Where's the other guys? You can't look at the Arsenal team and say it doesn't need a midfielder. You can't look at that Arsenal team and say we're going to get Champions League football, consistent success year in, year out with Xhaka and Partey as a midfield pivot. You cannot say you're going to see Odegaard and the people that play in the final third get to a higher level with this midfield pivot. Even when we was winning games and we was doing well, we was looking at that midfield pivot. We've got a midfielder, an ex-midfielder in the highest positions at this club beyond the owner. Midfield is still a thing. So, okay, cool. It doesn't have to necessarily be Bruno Guimaraes. There's thousands of players. And when you look at the links, you were linked with Alpha Melo, you're linked with Telemans, you're linked with Basuma. Ruben Neves, all different profiles of players and caliber of players and different strengths and weakness. So clearly you reckon that, which again, Xhaka is one of the first names on the team sheet. So I can't even look at that. You want to build, these are your building blocks. Are these the strongest of foundations? Even when we look in the summer, as much as I feel we adjust the spine of the team, how much of the spine did we improve? Really, because it's still the stain of the experienced players. Yes, Aubameyang's gone, but there's a tick, you'd be hard to find. It's like United. If you go through half a United squad, there is every player more or less had something against their name. Obviously, unfortunately, Green was doing the mad thing, but apart from that scumbag, someone's got something over their personal life, about manager bust up, about board things, about contract or whatever. That's basically us with our experienced players, not necessarily the same. Partey, Xhaka, Lacazette, all different things, but you get it. So, boy, I mean, on one hand, I love that there's a certain caliber of player they're going for, but all like it's a results business. DG, do you think the better than what we have argument is dangerous? The next couple of players need to elevate us. He's better than Nketiah/Xhaka isn't enough for the medium/long term. I think fans need to, it depends. You can't just be, you can't advocate bringing a man that's got 4 goals this season just in general, or 5 goals this season because Laka and Eddie might have 2. The bar's on the floor then, it all depends. But Arsenal fans are snobby, let's be real. A lot of Arsenal fans who are vexed that there's no centre mid, man, we're talking, Famelo, he can't, Juventus are 5th, he can't get in there. We finished 8th, man are talking about Ramsdale, man are belittling Ben White, man are snobby. Football fans on the best of days are snobby. And then they will talk about stuff. Tomiyasu, to a man that watched Italian League, you knew that he weren't the finished article. He's nothing to scream and shout about, but he's a competent player. In fact, he is something to scream and shout about. And he's consistent. It's not a sexy signing. The only people only think sexy signings, especially in England, where it's a money thing. It's not necessarily fixing things in-house or coaching. If you're not spending big P's, look at Odegaard. I'm not saying Maddison wouldn't have been great because, I said at the start of the season, I can tell Maddison's not having a good season because nobody's hitting Arsenal over the head with not signing him. As soon as he's doing better, the same people that said, spend 70 million on Maddison, they would have said that's a mismanagement of finances. So there's no pleasing people. The thing is, people don't want to be pleased. People just want silliness, really. There's people just think one thing can live in one realm. It don't work like that, man. How are we going to make top 4 Europa League with Nketiah and Lacazette? Absolutely brazy, man. We're going to have to just support the thing, and it is what it is, man. DG, Austin Tusty, left-footed central defender. Did he back up for Gabriel and eventually replace Pablo Mari soon? I don't know, but they're saying next season he's going on loan to Europe, so he's irrelevant for the next 2 years, 18 months. Well, what's left of this season and next season? So you're going to have to find something else in-house. So maybe, hopefully that sets up the platform for Saliba to come back next season. And then, Holding can be demoted to 4th choice and be a squad player, because at this moment in time, I didn't care Chambers went, for example. He's a sideman, but suddenly you let Chambers go, which could be good for him getting a move. You've got 3 centre halves now. Hopefully, we never have to talk about it. Gabriel and Ben White are fit, but as you've seen, suddenly you might have to pull Tomiyasu over there, and then there's knock-on effects to how we play football. Really how we progress. You saw what we lost with Ben White not playing as the centre back against Burnley. Maitland-Niles, you needed to go. If everyone's fit for me, you struggle for game time in midfield beyond being a rotation option and a sideman like that. But suddenly you're playing a dangerous game. And now, thank God, by the time Wolves comes, we're going to look different, like a new signing. You'd see Pepe's back with Dubai. El Nene will be back. Xhaka's there. Partey's there until people get sent off and whatnot again. Wait. And we've seen it, we've seen it. Arteta needs to separate his ego from his profession. You can have professional relationships without getting along. His ego is slowly killing the club. I think there's examples of good egos and bad egos. I think he rid for Aubameyang from the start, really. And then it's just like these discipline issues, whatever happened, that's when he seemed to turn on him, because it seemed like Arteta was one of the only guys backing him. Historically, I don't think he's played the right game well with stuff, with how he talks and whatnot. It does feel like there's one rule for another. With that report of the board knocking back Edu's Arthur deal, do you think Edu could get sacked before the summer window? I don't think the trust is there. I don't think the trust is there, but Arteta and Edu are kind of same level. If Arteta, that same article says Arteta sanctioned it, so it's almost like forget Edu's opinion. Maybe Edu showed incompetencies with getting the right financial approach, but yeah, I can't lie, man. I do think Edu gets a bad rep, but for me, I just think we need an experienced technical director. And I think things like last night or January or this January period showed us, because I'm not advocating spending for no reason or bringing man in for loan for no reason. And there's a lot of hard things there, but maybe something could be done. Again, not to advocate Mislintat or Raul Sanye, because they weren't perfect at the club, more so Raul Sanye. Maybe they make something happen. Maybe they do get Morata on loan. As much as we'd all be vexed about having Morata on loan, we'd have a squad player there, you know. I'm not saying I would be happy or I condone it, but do you get it? This is where you need your technical director. Wolves is a tough game, fam. Tough game. It's a process. Take time and ride the storm with the team you claim to support. There's definitely more positives than negatives. Mixed bag. There's things to be positive about. There's things to be negative. What I would say is people are free to support and express whatever opinions you want. You know, I don't advocate being extremely positive to the point where it's toxic, finding positives where there's none. I don't advocate actually as well finding negatives where there's none as well, you know. Just comment on what you see. You know, it depends. You know, on one hand, what's the saying about the glass half empty? There's plenty of reasons to be optimistic. There's plenty of reasons to be pessimistic. My biggest thing is if we were to get top 4 or even top 6, I don't know if that's a direct consequence of success or succession that we're trying to put into place, or if we're just going to stumble across it. So yeah, not sure who you were speaking to. I assume it's not me, but yeah, it is what it is. Don't worry, DG. When the Rams win the Super Bowl, Kroenke may splash extra cash on Arsenal. Doesn't care about Arsenal. Crazy one. Does it? You know, hope so. I mean, you know, you're just chatting shit now, man. Said Arsenal the worst team in the Premier League. You know, you're just overdoing it now. You know, you know, you're overdoing it. Like, I don't think, you know, the worst team is the one that's the bottom of the league and gets relegated. I think Arsenal have a lot of problems. I don't think that's going to be us. Let's bit of common sense, man. A bit of common sense. This is what I'm saying. We don't need to overdo things. Well, fair enough, if that's what you genuinely believe. I knew no one was coming when Eddie was doing that wine tasting and Arteta's doing rondos in Dubai. Arsenal now have no pool. I do think we've got pool, man, but you know, I don't know where we're going for the negotiations. And in hindsight, I don't think we was ever bringing in someone. And if we was, it was gonna have to be extremely creative in the market and things like that. Morning, DG. The problem we have is our supporters. We should stand up and get these frauds out of the club. We pay the most for tickets. Get them out of the club or team. I mean, we can scream and shout, but in terms of tangible things, it would, you know, it'll be years before you can move them on. Would you have taken Cantwell? No. I don't know if we'll do a madness. You know, we've saved finances and we should be able to overspend. Or when I say overspend, I mean, you know, pay a bit more for players that have tied into what we want to do and things like that. But at the same time, how much, you know, commitment can we do for the summer, in the sense of we don't know if we're going to be in Europe, not in Europe at all, in the Champions League or in Europa League or the Conference League. So how much can you plan? How much commitment can you do? How much is the owner of the club, where it looks on the face of it we're doing all right, but we are inconsistent? Where's that going to be? That's good for them, and there can be 7 other teams that want to join us first. I mean, I don't know if that meant to hurt Arsenal fans. You get it, you know, unless you're Barcelona, Madrid, and these things, you've got to be able for people to reject you. If people want to join 7 clubs, that's all right. Find the one person that wants to join Arsenal. It ain't making sense. DG, which one's more potential, Joe Lopez or Lino Sosa? I like Sosa. I don't think Lopez is going to make the grade here. Unless, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'd love to be proven wrong, but yeah. You know, Sosa's got more time on his hands. Swear Tommy is injured. If we have to start Cedric against Wolves, I see the decision to sell Chambers coming back to bite us. I mean, I'd rather Chambers, but we can't act like he doesn't get collapsed as well. But fundamentally, yeah, because obviously, you know, it might be different. But Cedric and Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Cedric, Ainsley and Thingy, what's the other one? Chambers going. That tells me Cedric's always been the second choice, or is the second choice. Maybe he's the happiest to sit on the bench. I don't think Maitland's clearly happy about that. You know, Chambers clearly wanted to go get some football. He could have ran down his deal. Maybe Cedric is the happiest of the two to be the sideman, really and truly. Or maybe he's the one that we couldn't move. You know, the Atletico Madrid links moved away real quick. You know, in an ideal world, you would have moved him on, maybe used Chambers to the end of the season, and that's it, man. Really. We should have moved for Darwin Núñez after the failed Vlahovic move instead of calling Sociedad last minute to sign Lucas Perez part 2. I don't think that's quite fair, but fair enough, my kid. Just clock, why didn't Kroenke grab a Cardo Rapid striker? They might have another Josh Sargent. The real JS in the Premier League. I mean, PSG do make some lovely stuff, man. Vlahovic, there were lots of rumours about clubs from abroad, but it was an easy choice for me to sign for Juventus. The team has winning mentality like me. I'm extremely happy I'm joining the glorious club. This is what I wanted. I can't wait. Exactly. I mean, the club clearly got the summer in mind, but I can't, you know, the summer's of no consolation to me because the season is still going on. Like the season's still going on. As much as you can clearly see, you can clearly see I'm someone that can see the benefits and positives and negatives and you know and things like that. But let's cut the crap. I like that we're looking after the finances. I like the fact that we didn't spend for the sake of it. Lord knows Arsenal love it, but none of that is of any consolation from now to the end of the season, especially when you start hearing contract talks and a lot of things are being done, in my opinion, far too prematurely. He doesn't have a couple years left. He's got 18 months. And clearly the club said, you know what, take him on. We should get Jude Bellingham. But again, you can't commit to that outlay. It'd be perfect. And even Jude, why would you know, why would you want to come here? Respectfully, I know there's the pull of Arsenal. We tried to get him when he's a youth, but you're going to have to pick a club. You could probably, if you was to leave tomorrow in the next 2 years, where you think if Pep's still there, you've got the option of Pep. Klopp's onto him. United have the money. I don't know if United will get him and their finances, but they've got the money to get it done. You know, apparently Real Madrid and Barca are keeping tabs. We got the London aspect. I've never gassed up Lucas Perez. And to be fair, Carl, you know, Chelsea fans still gassing about Hudson-Odoi. Them 1v1 demons there. Pardon me. We signed another centre-back for the summer, so what's happening when Saliba comes back? Well, my man's going on loan, so I'd imagine Saliba's going to be part of it. But again, if I'm Saliba, I don't know. I need to see things. If I'm Arsenal, Saliba needs to sign a new deal. If I'm Saliba, I'm thinking twice. I'm like, all right, cool, you know what? You gassed me about signing for Arsenal. Is this the year I get a chance? Cool. If this is the year man are getting a chance, let me see what's going on. Really. There's not a single situation where we've won. There's no way you can say we've torn up Aubameyang's contract and we've won. We've cleared the wages, but we haven't won. We haven't got an option. I hope that with every game, it's going to change to we should have signed a striker. And again, even though Aubameyang is no longer relevant and past today, there's no need to speak about him. And there's no need to speak about him. With every good game that Arsenal having a declining one from him, we're going to say he was the problem and vice versa. Hudson-Odoi is good. Decision making is terrible. I mean, this is down to coaching, bro. I mean, he's had Sarri, Tuchel, Lampard. It's all down to coaching, right? It's nothing to do with the player. I hear you, man. I'm not gonna waste my breath at 11:13 talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Who is that? I don't know, but I don't even know who that is. Like, bare guys keep comparing themselves to Saka. It's like when rappers come out and they're from from wherever edge of England and they're sending for rappers that are in London and stuff. We ain't got beef with these guys. I don't know. Like Saka's got ops. Don't know. I don't know who JS is. I hear that's Josh Sargent or the rapper from CGM. I don't know who is it. Who is it? Jadon Sancho or Sancho Jadon? I don't know these youths. I don't know who Hudson-Odoi is. Saka don't know them. We don't know them. We don't beef. We haven't got beef. We don't know them brothers. Like, they're not known. We don't know them. Yeah, and Vinny had to improve his decision making. Vinny, boy, I see 3 different managers. Yeah, that Jaden brother at Villa who's gone to Stoke is good. Yeah. Are you really gonna? Do you think Carl? I'm not gonna argue with you. Do you think Carlo Ancelotti's pressing buttons like on the player? The player, clearly Carlo's worked with him, but the player has to go out and do it and make better decisions. Klopp worked with Salah and said, "Listen, you need to stop hugging the touchline." But the player had to make the decision. Raheem Sterling had to make better decisions. So it is the coach. But at some point, the coach can only give you water. You have to drink it. You can argue with facts. That's how football works. I live and breathe football. I coach football. I've coached football. You can't tell me nothing, Carl. I'm sorry. Like, it's a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth. Vinicius clearly forgave himself. Vinicius has probably been given confidence from Carlo. That's why you see him making better decisions and obviously maturity. Come on now, Clearly Hudson-Odoi needs one-to-one coaching, but at Chelsea, where you're trying to win titles and things, how much can a manager do that? If a manager's trying to plan for things all week, competing in multiple competitions, does he have time necessarily for that? Hudson-Odoi is at the age where he's got to do it for himself. There's only so much you can do. Same with Ronaldo. Do you think Ronaldo went from being a very talented young player to an amazing player surely down to coaching? There's extra elements he did. There's a certain Arsenal academy player, that he was a good player and he dramatically improved in relation to getting a scholar. He's actually a defender, and you speak to people who know a lot of it is down to the coaching, but a lot of it is down to him working with an external coach. Come on now. Stop and think for a sec. How can you tell 3 coaches that are wrong? Like, anyways, man, I ain't wasting my time about Hudson-Odoi. It's not making sense what you're saying. Do you think Ronaldo's statement about United's young players not giving 100% applies to a lot of these guys? Yes. Of course, life isn't that easy, but what, it's Callum. There's 3 different coaches. You think coaches don't want Callum Hudson-Odoi to play well? Like, come on. You've had 3 different coaches, 3 different styles of play. It's down to you now. Come on now. Like, come on now. If I've got 3 different teachers and I'm still failing at a subject, of course, it comes down to either the way I'm being taught or the way I'm learning. So it's down to me to find a better way of retaining info. Come on, man. And that's the whole point. It needs to be coached out, but the player's got to coach it out himself. I can't like how man safe, man. You're trying shit. Anyways, away from that, man, I'm just trying to, the defender from America is going on loan when he comes. It's on Arsenal's website. The smell of money laundering like a sauna. Ooh, steady on. I think it's just in terms of, I think they're just boosting their relationships. They're going to use him to boost our profile in America. He's going to get sold for a profit, or if he stumbles across a future, it'll be like that. You at Chelsea, is it Messiah or Matt Messiah or whatever his name is? They loaned him about and they made a profit. No, manager's chatty shit, bro. Bro, Iwobi's had several different coaches, man. Bro, it's a bit of banter, mate. I think I know who Hudson-Odoi is. He's been playing wing back. That doesn't affect your decision making, though. Like, come on. Like, if you are not in life, if you are not at a certain level, it's because of you. It's not if you've had several coaches that we can attribute it. But come on now, you're not making sense. It's a little joke, Ninja. Stop crying, man. Twitch are normally guys. You don't need to pull your pants up, man. Man, I'm crying. Come on, my chat, man. We ain't got time for you. Soft youths, man. I can't sit here and fully back the claim Arteta wasn't backed, but if he had a top centre mid besides Partey this season, Bellerin would still be the right back. If we had a striker, Holding would be partnering Gabriel. I'm not sure, Darren, if that's the correlation we can find. I think Tucci has been backed. I think the club are only interested in getting European football than winning the championship. I don't know, because I can't say you've made your case stronger to get European football. We've come out the window in terms of depth. Right. You don't know them guys there, man. I'm expecting a big backlash from Arsenal fans with no new signings. Oba's gone. I mean, at the end of the day, you can scream and shout. What's it going to do? Like, reality is you can be upset, but this is the way the cookies crumbled, didn't it? This is what's happening. Like, this is the decision you have to make. This is it. Like, there's nothing else. What more can you do or say? Nothing. You're just going to have to pull your pants up and get on with it. So you can moan as much as you want. But yeah, man. But hey, Can't lie. Wobie Dele Alli. Ooh. Smelly still. Man, like, you don't know Hudson Odoi. He's been playing at wing back. We know that. He had a good game against Villa where he set up Lukaku. Please do not, don't do all of this. You lot getting your knickers, Hudson Odoi isn't going to shag you lot. Ninja, Carl, he's not going to shag you. I promise you, he's not going to shag you. Arteta better prove us wrong in 4 months. Bro, I don't want to be proven right or wrong. I just want you lot to get on with it. Like, get on with it. Make it happen. You lot think this is, if this is the squad you're betting on to get Europe, make it happen. Simple as that. And then there's nothing else I can really say. I think Ivan Toney and Calvert-Lewin would be suitable in terms of the playing style. Whether Ivan Toney scores enough goals, whether Dominic Calvert-Lewin has enough variety in his play is another thing. But it's brazy, man. It's brazy. Obviously, people, in 10 minutes, we're going into our next live. So make sure you're all there, people. Just so we're there, I'm going to make sure. Bro, it's not even a draw. I just like when people start crying, bro. Man, start crying, bro. Like, man, actually start crying. Like, grown men are crying. But yeah, man, just so we're in terms of timing, people, obviously, literally in 10 minutes, any questions, all of these things, make sure you hold it back. DG, what's the matter today? Nothing's the matter with me, my guy. You're behaving kind of weird, bro. Arsenal haven't signed a player, but there's nothing else with that. You're on some weird thing, man. The fuck? Can't lie, big up Twitch, but Twitch, you man are moving weird today. Hello, weirdos coming out of the back burners, people. But yeah, anyways, away from them weirdos, 9 minutes from now, we're going to go live again on YouTube. I've dropped the link in the comments, people. Any comments you lot have, questions, please hold them in for 10 minutes. We go again, man. As usual, thank you very much, Twitch gang, for being here this morning. Shout out the YouTube gang for sponsoring it. Can't lie, it was meant to be exclusively on Twitch, and I think I clicked the YouTube button as well. So here we are. So yeah, man, I'll see you lot in a piece, man. On that note, safe, man. We ain't got no signings, but it is what it is. There's always just that active red line, defending. I think it's like